Hello everybody. In this video, we're going to look at a Binding of Isaac run from my stream where we absolutely demolished the game once again. It gets pretty colourful. There wasn't actually much of a setup to this break, we were basically handed it for free, but you'll see how that happens during the video. Also, I'm making this video right after hitting 3,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here and liking and commenting, and thank you to all the members too. So after all of that ado, let's get into it. We're starting on Tainted Bethany. On the first floor, a couple of people in the chat were upset I wasn't using the Lemegeton item. I explained it could easily spawn in items that are truly horrible, like Cursed Eye and Curse of the Tower. But eventually I relent and spawn in a couple of items just to keep the peace. I do find Kamikaze, which I learned is better than I thought. Apparently, it only takes half a heart of damage when you use it. It means it's not horrible, and it does give me a way to trade health for bombs, but I won't be making too much use of it because health is so hard to come by on characters which only have soul hearts. The run goes pretty smoothly for a while. We actually get a bunch of nice items, but the game does tease me slightly with a Mr. Dolly that I can't get. But then Catacombs 2 hooks me up with the Juicy Angel item. It's always fun to immediately use Holy Light on the angels themselves, right after they've offered it to me. I've got no idea why. And then I learn about the true power of Lemegeton, let me get on, let me get on. It gives Tech 2, which sends the Holy Light completely insane, and I hold on to this Wisp for a while. None of the enemies can really touch me when I've got this kind of strength, so it's nice to just coast for a while on the back of the book. Usually on a character with no marks, I go for Angels to get Mega Satan unlocked. And I did grab that key piece earlier from the Holy Light Angel, but then I see that this Devil Deal stays open, and I can't help but have a little peek inside. And who am I, really, if I could refuse my good friend Incubus from joining this party? Now this is a strange one. I also take Chaos. Those among you who are aware of how breaking the game in Isaac normally goes, you might be thinking, how does he break the game from here? He's got Chaos. Chaos is a ladder, and there's no R keys at the top of that ladder, right? Well, we make our way through the womb. We beat this guy, who has a name that I don't know, and find Brimstone in the Devil Deal. I kick the Chaos a few times just to make sure it's still working, take the Brimstone, and make my way downtown to the Hush floor. In the Hush item rooms, I grab Jello, which is the best item in the game by far, before spotting this crawl space, and thank you for your service, Jello. You were a real one. I actually do let him help me take down Hush with a few Tainted Beth charges to get a few of them before dumping Jello for the D-Infinity. I also find a Cracked Orb, which I have to take because it lets me into the Mega Satan door, so missing that key piece isn't that big of a deal. And then we roll again, and cheese with rice, here we go again. So we haven't broken the game yet, but it's about to happen, and it's probably one of the easiest breaks in the game, if not one of the most time consuming, although don't worry, it doesn't take any time at all here, and you'll see why. And this is the moment, AAA battery. This trinket means that I can use the D7 on the D-Infinity infinitely. I can reset a large room, and when I finish it, I'll get 2 charges back for finishing the room, and then 1 extra charge from the trinket, which means the dice fully, you get the charge back. And you can do a room as many times as you want, which means you can spawn in as many room rewards as you want. And usually you would then use a D20 to roll all of the chests and items and stuff, and then it just spirals out of control from there. But in this case, it makes a lot more sense to just get to the chest ASAP, because every chest that spawns in is guaranteed to be an item. And since we have the battery and jumper cables, it does make it super easy to keep the D-Infinity fully charged. And so we get to it. We find a large room with some dingles, and we just start dingling. It's super easy to shred the room, the chests start spawning in, and it doesn't take long before it just becomes too tempting to reroll. But not before I spot the question mark card. When I see it, I am immediately thinking that, this could give me a second Archie run later on. So I stash that, and then you might call it lucky, but literally the very first roll of the items, guess who shows up? My chat thinks I'm addicted to these Archies. Maybe they're right. They come up with quotes like, find somebody who holds you, like Maths 44 holds Archies. And they're not wrong. Some of them are as addicted as me though. Take Joel Guy for example. Now, he's as bald can be. And he can't contain his excitement. He waits the entire stream for these kind of moments. And like me, he experiences the true majesty of the Archie. After grabbing a few more items on the floor, including a theme, which turns my dingles into pulsing black circles, we eventually decide enough is enough. After we've grabbed a bunch of disgustingly strong stuff, I finally remember to locally record the run so you can listen to the game sound. But thank you Yumi for providing this great music. Go check out his channel and listen to Mega Satan's sweet cries of death before moving on to the Delirium floor, where we're already too strong. Did I mention that I used the magic skin and found the spin down, so we now have ways to get more Archies? So much for that question mark card. I could have waited for another run after I used the Archie to destroy Delirium with an even stronger build, but I thought I might as well get it out of the way. So then we use the Archie, I find a Mega Bean straight away, and I make my way down to the alt path for a confrontation with Mother. Strictly speaking, I don't need to go alt path because of the cracked orb, and I should be able to open the mausoleum door if I take some damage in the Mausoleum 2 boss room. But hey, it's Dwayne! It's at this point in Isaac Breaking that essentially you don't really need to do anything. You can speedrun to any boss you need and they won't even be able to breathe on you. But I can't resist slowing down now and then just to collect some little shiny trinkets. Hemolacria shows up for the third time in the run. I don't take it because I'm scared of crashing the game and the chat calls me a coward. So I store this in the memory banks for later. We use Mega Bean to get into boss rush and oh, look who it is. Surprise, surprise. Who's paying these damn script writers? I was sad about missing boss rush earlier on the run, and where do I find myself an hour later? Well, I mean, it's definitely more fun beating boss rush like this. I do have one problem. I took a pyromaniac and a host hat, so I can't hurt myself. And I never picked up a sharp plug, so I can't do self-damage to get into the corpse floor with the cracked orb. But I've got a spin down and a shop and a membership card, so I'm sure I can find a way through. And sure enough, with a bit of finagling, I spin down to the knife piece that I need instead. And at this point of the run, I'm starting to think about getting the next Archie. And it's time for the classic magic skin spin down to get this beautiful beast once again. The chat's told me I need to get an Archie tattoo. I told them 500,000 subs and it's done. Mother puts up a good fight, but ultimately I managed to squeak through and we're on the third run of the run. The good items just keep dropping and I race my way through another run where Satan and the Lamb await for their own turn against the mighty Rainbow. The run's nearly spoiled when I spot this disgusting abomination, but I compose myself and spin it down into the sharp key. And I ain't no worse, so I pop Damocles because why not? And show Satan who's boss. Well, 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 don't mind if I do. I doubt it was the Sacred Heart, but for some reason, this build gives me the fastest ever lamb kill I've ever had. Don't think it can get any faster than this. I pop one final Archie, I swear I don't have a problem, and it's at this point I lose my damn mind. I think something just broke in my brain. We did start the run with Chaos, and I guess I decided to just fully embrace it. I take Lacry, I take Ipecac, I take Tech Zero, I take Knockout Drops, Glitched Crown, Monstro's Lung, and finally the item pool is exhausted. I realise I might have gone too far this time, and I'm quite scared to even fire by this point, but the flies and familiars take down all of the enemies on the ascent until I get to Dogma, where it's time to unleash. This is the kind of build that makes even Cthulhu warrior Azazel jealous. It's a build that takes down every enemy with ease, It's a run that takes Tainted Beth from 0 marks to a nearly full post-it note. This is the kind of run that makes Isaac worth playing. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you drop that like and subscribe. Check out my other videos, join the Discord, all that good stuff. I appreciate you watching to the end, and once again, thank you for 3,000 subscribers. See ya.